Welcome back, friends. My name is Holly Sampson, and you're watching the Gardening at Home channel. Lovely to have you. Today we will be learning about how to propagate basil from a clipping. All you need is a plant and some water. Basil is a very common indoor and outdoor herb that is used in various cooking methods and cuisines worldwide to add a pop of flavor. Most commonly associated with Mediterranean cooking, bocconcini salad, anyone? However, it originates from tropical regions of Central Africa to East Asia and was brought to the Mediterranean via spice routes throughout history. Basil loves full sun and warm temperatures. Most indoor herbs thrive at room temperature 18 to 22 degrees Celsius. However, basil would enjoy even a few degrees warmer than that. Depending on your geographic location, you may be able to get away with keeping it by a sunny window. However, if you are in Canada like me, you most likely will want to look into a grow light to supplement the loss of sun during the winter months. Now that you know some background information on basil, why would you want to grow it in your house? Basil can be used as clippings, and you can keep clipping it and save money instead of buying plant after plant after plant. Other purposes of basil include seasoning. You can do dry seasoning or fresh seasoning. Just add it to any food. It'll add a little freshness. It'll be great. Also, it's divine. It smells amazing. It's a heavenly smell. It smells great. It'll give a nice little zest to your home instead of it just smelling like nothing. Some examples of using your homegrown basil in recipes include pesto, pizza, salads, infused oils, and more. Basil is a staple herb for anyone who enjoys cooking. Okay, so the materials you'll be using to plant your basil will be a trowel, poking sticks for making holes in the soil, just so it's easier to place your basil roots within the pot, basil, because you'll be taking clippings from the good one that you already have, and a small planting pot. You'll also need growing media or soil, any kind is fine. And you'll need perlite to mix with the soil. It'll help the basil drain properly and not be overwatered. Okay, so let's get started. Sadly, earlier in the materials section, I did not include the scissors, and you need scissors to take the clipping from the established plant for your later on basil plant. So just go to the plant and take a little snip, and that's all. So for step number 2, you need a shot glass. This one is very ideal. It's tall and thin, the mouth isn't as wide, it gives plenty of room for your roots to root within, and the basil leaves will stay dry on top. Regular tap water makes basil uncomfortable in its growing conditions, and it can start forming spots or wilting. Be sure to use filtered or distilled water only, it is necessary. Next, you will place your basil into the shot glass, but before you do that, you must remove any lower leaves that you see. You only ideally want to keep on 2 leaves. This started growing more leaves, but before that it only had 2. And you want to make sure that your nodes are still visible. You don't want to place the nodes within the water. And for step 4, you'll want to place your basil cutting in a sunny area. If you don't have a sunny area available to you at the moment, you can use a grow light instead. And step 5, check on your cutting once every day or so. If the leaves are wet for long periods of time, they can cause rot or kill the cutting altogether. If there is not enough water in the jar, the cuttings can wilt. Replace water every 1 to 2 days to ensure fresh oxygen supply. Step 6, after a few days to 2 weeks, roots will form. When roots are a couple inches long to 1 inch long, they have grown enough to be planted in potting soil. Step 7, time to pot your clipping. So take your trowel, take some soil from the bag, place some in your pot, and then you want about 1/4 of the pot to be perlite. And you want to mix both of them together. If the trowel's too hard, use a popsicle stick or a smaller stirring stick instead. Make sure it's all evenly mixed. And when you feel it's ready, use your poking sticks to poke holes for the roots, or your finger. take the cutting and place the roots in the pot and backfill. There you go. Okay, so the next step is to water it. Make sure you thoroughly water it. Make sure that when you water it, you're watering more at the roots instead of at the top because basil is prone to rotting. And make sure that your water has a very good drainage pot and that there's holes at the bottom of it. All right, if you follow these steps at home, you too can have gorgeous and thriving basil plants. Thank you for watching today's episode on the Gardening at Home channel. Have a great night and happy planting.